some of us were not able to hear the previous speaker. I think the gentleman in the front, you're able to hear me now? I think I must be loud and clear. So thank you all for the opportunity. My name is Sai. I think I've got an introduction already there. So I think today's topic is about how to get this entire critical infrastructure within 5G up and running. Now that's going to be a very difficult question for us to answer, in quantum terms. And if you would have seen all over the 85,000 people that we have seen in MWC with so much of space, there's a lot of 5G buzz that we talk about, but how do we translate that buzz into an actually actionable or monetizable topic is a large challenge in front of us. And today with the panel that we have here, we would be discussing a few topics on how to make that happen. The focal point would be with automotive, infrastructure, the V2X connectivity, and some of the larger telecom overlay. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Ruben, who would be moderating the session, and we will have a good panel discussion, I suppose. Over to you, Ruben. Thank you. Thank you for handing me this place.
Thank you so much, Sai. Thank you, everyone. Ready to be back again in this stage and hosting you all, Esther, Iñaki, Fernando. First of all, we have been talking a lot about technologies, artificial intelligence, 5G, and so on, but what is really providing this digitalization or digitization era and wave to your infrastructures? Fernando, you can start if you want.
Well, when you think about roads, in Globalvia we manage roads, and you think a color for roads, the first color that comes to your mind is gray, something gray, static, solid. So digitalization and digitization is changing the way that we look at roads, because it's helping us to get more data from the infrastructure, it's allowing us to operate and maintain the infrastructure better. It is enabling us also to offer new services for those customers that are passing by through the road. But what it is more important is that it's starting to allow us to explore new business needs. We don't want just to move people or to allow moving people from point A to point B. We want to change the experience of the people going through A to B through our roads. And with the 5G, this is opening the possibilities of offering new services, a new experience for those drivers, for those users that are passing by. So it's helping us also in transforming the color of the road. So we are greener now, obviously, because of the sustainability that is in our DNA, but it's also becoming more blue. Why blue? Well, you should ask ChatGPT about the color of digital. So if you ask ChatGPT about digital, it said it is blue. Okay, so perfect, it's blue. So it's allowing us to be more blue, to offer new services, and to use the data for a better operation in a daily basis.
Great, Fernando. Like the blue, as you can see also, so it's perfect. And you have talked about getting a new experience, specifically for highways, roadways. What about the trains, Esther? What about the railway infrastructure?
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear, Esther?
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
As you know, ADIF is the railway undertaking manager. So the first benefit is related to improve or managing our responsibility. That is, as you know, design, build, and operate railway network. But more than this, we have a plan, a digital plan, and we have a dream. We want to change the experience in a station. We want to move the idea that a station is a place, or is not only the place that you arrive to take a train, but more than this is a business and a leisure center, a mobility or a connectivity hub, maybe the place where you drink the best coffee in the city, and we want to transfer this experience. This is only an example, of course, but is the point of our dreams and our plan. And in this sense, some of the challenge related to this plan is to decide which of these digital proposals are the best to achieve this goal. And it's related to those that give us agility and orient the organization to data. We have thousands and thousands of data. Which of them are really useful to take decision? And one important aspect is related to cultural one, because the average age is high in our company, in public sector. So to help us to reinforce the relationship between technology and people is very, very important in this sense.
Thank you so much, Esther. You have raised up a lot of topics about talent, about the culture, about agility, about how to choose the right technology. Wow. Iñaki, you're closing.
Thank you very much, Ruben. I would say that, generally speaking, strategically speaking, the main challenge that the port industry is facing in the future are going to be related to or be solved through technology, through digitalization. For example, we've been talking earlier this morning about how ports have limited space. The COVID has also shown us that congestion in the ports is a main issue to be tackled. And forecast is that port activity is going to increase by 50% in the next 10 years, and already accounts to nearly 90% of all the trade goods worldwide. So both port operators and port authority are forced to increase the efficiency in the ports terminal in order to increase capacity, but not making huge investments. So making more movement with less investment. And I guess digital twins, artificial intelligence, IoT is going to be critical about the future of the industry in these terms.
Thank you so much. Sai.
So I think I would only second what you said and try closing it. I think, let me put an example from an automotive side. Now, we all understand that when the automotive moves onto the road, there is a larger value that we generate when we combine this with the 5G infrastructure. But the whole point is who's going to be actually owning that particular data, and how does that data interoperate with the various other parties in the ecosystem is something that we will need to figure out very soon. And that's only possible with not only system integration companies, but technology providers, partners, the overall ecosystem. Now, Japan has got a very, very good ecosystem to drive that particular towards a societal betterment, but we'll have to actually bring that over and above into the global world. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you so much. So, quite a nice challenge for how to apply the technologies in the infrastructures. We have been talking before about how 5G could be an enabler for this digitalization, and we were talking about one concept that is interoperability, about different technologies, different networks. For sure, you belong to 3 different worlds, one from the sea, 2 from the earth. We only lack the air here in the table, but how critical is the interoperability among your infrastructures and also with third parties to solve this digitalization wave? Because when I talk about the customer experience or the experience that you mentioned before, always come to my mind a couple of concepts. One is about something seamless. The second one is about something coherent. So how to bring the coherence, the seamless, using the interoperability capabilities of your infrastructures and the digital technologies that enables them. Maybe Fernando, you're going to start this time.
We think that interoperability is key for the future. If we look at the past, we see isolated ports, isolated stations, isolated roads. There's value there, yes. There's a limited value, in fact. You pay the toll, you use that service, and that's it. But when you put in place the concept that we really advocate for, that is the mobility as a service concept, meaning that the mobility should be an integrated concept between different platforms, that means an exponential growth of possibilities in the mobility world. We also operate buses, and we have some discussions internally about the future design of these buses stations, where you have the bus stop, but not only the bus stop, but a place for car sharing, for scooters, for bikes. So everything there, everything green, very nice picture. And then I say, but the most important thing here is what is missing: the data. We need to make data interoperable between the different partners, because otherwise, when you go with your bike to this place and you want to have a car, if you don't know that there is a car there, why should you go there? So you need the information, all the information in place, and all the systems should interoperate in order to exchange data so that the users have the experience, this seamless experience, that they can have the full mobility experience just at his hand in the digital form. So, and this is something that we are working and that we are trying to push for, because we think that's the way to go. It's not, the future is not about isolated islands of infrastructure. It's about connected islands, and it's about culture. Esther was saying before. It's changing the mindset of the people who are managing this infrastructure currently. They say, no, I want my infrastructure with my data. I don't want to share it. The OEMs, no, it's my data. No, sorry. We are changing the world. We are changing the world. Okay, so let's change it completely. So we have to change data. And for that, we need the business driver so that everybody can have incentives to share the data. It's not just sharing the data because, okay, that's nice. No. Let's find the business driver for that. So that's the challenge.
I totally agree with Fernando. I think this is going, we need a change of mindset. But a change of mindset, not only in how we apply technology to connect all these different infrastructures, but also a change of mindset in the companies. Because we need to change from a more competitive approach. We are not anymore competing with another infrastructure. We are competing, we have to collaborate. This is a very difficult thing to change. We need to change from a competitive approach to a collaborative approach, and everyone has to know his role in the value chain, which is the thing that you are competing with another value chain. You are not anymore competing with the road, or you are competing with another port. You are competing. One value chain is competing against another value chain. So I think this is a very important point, and as someone told me this morning, this is a very strong change of mindset in the companies, and probably we have to apply some principles of game theory, where we have to collaborate instead of compete. And this is a huge challenge for the companies.
Absolutely.
Well, just to close on that, right? I would want to close that with a real case study that we are currently, trying to play around with. I think interoperability should be measured as the single largest KPI, to make sure this entire thing is successful. If interoperability is not there, I think the business case does not stand a chance for monetization. I think that's very key. 2, now again, taking you back to a real life example where I don't want to give the names of the customers, but we are working with urban developers and car companies to bring data out and make it interoperable so that we are able to get the real-time CO2 sustainability measures for the urban developers. Now that cohesive environment needs to be built, for a societal betterment, very soon. Otherwise we would have islands of data.
Right.
And these islands will only make it more complex because it's not a direct computational algorithm that you can build, because it'll all be exponential data. So I think very soon interoperability should become a kind of an industry standard or a KPI to get us there. Thank you, Ruben.
Esther,
I fully agree with my colleagues, and I would like to add two ideas. I would add a different type of interoperability. Of course, the tangible one is, in our case, we have to assure that one train for any operator can go through the track, of course, from one point to another. And I would add two new things. One of them is we need interoperability between mindset, cultural aspect, and to understand what happened in the company in front of us, and what they need and what they offer, and can we share and collaborate to get a better product or service. And in other case, entity data has offered a very, very useful idea that ADIF is working around, and it's an example of interoperability in technology. That is the third meaning. And it's talking about it's a nonsense to think you need only a train to pass to one point to another. It's a nonsense. It's better to say you can pass to some point to another, but the first mile and the final mile can be covered to another way of transport. So a station is the place to change the way of transport, maybe is one of the parts. In this sense, they offer the proposal of NTT and Orange Telecom is an 5G use of case or connectivity that has offered the passenger the opportunity to give the information and guide through the station information about the next transport you are going to catch, and information about the time you need and what the station offer you. And it's very, very interesting in our opinion.
Thank you so much, Esther. You have raising again lots of concepts about data, about breaking silos, about basically about open and ecosystem again. So going specifically with you, Fernando, about Open RAN, 5G. How relevant is 5G, open networks, open RAN technologies are for the highways and critical infrastructures that you manage?
Yeah, in Globalvia we are designing, or we are launching a program called Neo Roads, which is intending to change and transform roads. We say we bring roads into digital life. We also add to make life easier and safer. Okay, so when we are addressing this program, the first thing is we have to add connectivity to the road to make it be a digital being. And with the traditional 5G solutions, this is not so easy to be done. More in our case that we are in different geographies. We are in the US, we're in 12 countries, US, Costa Rica, Spain. So if we are, in this case, with the Open RAN solution, we are able to, okay, let's use the core, let's put it here, let's use this kind of RAN in this place, but a different one in another place that is interoperable, so that we can make a game of Lego 5G solution. So from the point of view of operation, this is critical for us, and this is the way that we are going, because at the end, this is also addressing for us the thing that we are creating, and we are generating a new business model. So we are going to offer new 5G capabilities to the world. So this allows us to deploy this business. Without a business, there's no point in deploying the technology. So for us is, we are exploring the creation of new businesses, offering new informational safer services to the user, new critical services in terms of safe. If you are through the road and there is an animal crossing, you have to inform the car that something is happening in the road. So with this solution, we are able to offer these services to the future users.
When you open things, you expose things. We are talking about critical infrastructures. We are talking about data. So Esther, how are you managing all this ecosystem from the point of view of cybersecurity, continuity, operational continuity, and so on?
Well, you know, there are two organizations, those that have been attacked and the other that don't know that they have been attacked. So cybersecurity is in the center of all of mine. And of course, it doesn't matter how transformative a digital proposal is. If you don't assure cybersecurity, it's impossible to think about how to deploy, how to share exactly use case or whatever. You need to assure that this solution is going to give you the security in the cyber aspect. So we have to follow this path. Is 5G gives us or provides us a very exciting experience, but you don't assure cybersecurity is out of our plan. And in this case, I think in our side, our first challenge is the convergence between IT and OT world. You know, we have a amount of device in the operational technology related, and we have to focus on some challenge. In our case, are critical one related to common governance, to assure standards, to promote cyber resilience. We have to prepare the organization to put in front of a cyber attack, react, respond, have the knowledge to learn and to recover the service. So there are thousands of challenges. You know, you are in a very important project when you have more challenge than resources. So we have this moment, and cybersecurity is essential in a critical infrastructure.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Esther. We are talking about 5G, but 5G, as I mentioned before, is a combination or an enabler for multiple technologies being interconnected in a different way. And artificial intelligence is one of that. We are talking about data, analytics, automation, IoT, and some others. So how are these emerging technologies helping you specifically in the ports to create that meaningful experiences in transforming the operation in the ports?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very hot topic in the port industry right now. There are many pilots going on right now using 5G technologies. Probably I would say that it's not one isolated technology, but the combination of many technologies that give the right solution. But I will say that Bergé is actually also working in some case studies relating to, for example, improve efficiency in the way as far as we can improve efficiency in the ports and the logistics of the ports. We can benefit end users, providing them better services and better price. So that's a good advantage. Also in terms of sustainability and carbon footprint, in the way that if we can optimize transport road and infrastructure, our end user can reduce fuel consumption, so will lead to a smaller carbon footprint. Another very important issue that we're working is that how we can forecast demand. As if we can forecast demand and optimize it, we can our final client and user can manage better inventories, reducing cost. In these terms that we have scarce resources of some very important materials. Also real-time tracking in terms of artificial intelligence can be used to improve traceability, transparency in the industry, reducing uncertainty, and overall increasing customer experience. Also, a very hot topic now in the industry is safety. In ports, as you know, we handle some difficult goods and also risky equipment. With IoT technology, we can connect processes, equipment, and people in order to anticipate risk situations and reduce incidents. So there are many things going on right now, and it's not something that is going to happen. It's already happening right now in the port industry.
Thank you so much.
Just to summarize, Ruben, there, I think secure connectivity. We've all been talking about connectivity, right? Now we should rephrase that a little bit into secure connectivity which becomes the new oil for growth, because that's what is needed. Connectivity which is unsecure is not going to help us in any of the use cases that we would be looking at, number one. Now coming back to the ports topic, automated picking of the warehouses, to make sure that your shipment and your logistics is on time, you're able to track and trace it until the last mile connectivity. And also ports have always been associated with freight. Right. The overall customer experience has never been a topic in ports for a long time. Ports have been the last stage of customer experience for a long time. Maybe the CX part of it is seamlessly needs to move also into ports. And multimodal transportation, what Esther spoke about. So you talk about air travel, you talk about train travel, you talk about road travel, and then you talk about port travel, the waterways. I think so. Connecting all the four into a seamless way and making sure some of these applications come to the last mile bench is very, very important. Last one is digital twins. I think that's going to be a common topic between all your industries, roads, rails, and waterways, because you will need to see the behavior of some of these particular topics much well in advance before it happens.
Yes.
But the question is, how do you monetize all this? I think I will live it with that particular thought, because we are all in the business to make profit.
Right.
I think we don't want to do a lot of charity, so we all want to earn money at the end of the day. So with that, Ruben, I would hand it over back to you.
Thank you so much for the summary. So, thank you so much. It's been a really, really interesting conversation that demonstrates that 5G, but not only the new era of digitalization, is critical also for critical infrastructures to build meaningful, safer, coherent, and seamless experiences. This is not about silos, as you have mentioned. It's about exchanging things, interconnecting, open the ecosystem.
Unlimited future.
Unlimited the future. And please be careful with data, with cybersecurity, because if you have not been hacked, maybe you have not realized about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Fernando.